So this is going to be a very simple video about creating a simple animation with a ball moving. So first of all, before I actually explain to you the code part of it, I want to just show you what we are going to create, like what's the end output. So if I run this file, you'll be able to see that the ball is able to move and it's bouncing off the walls. Okay, so this is what I'm going to create with you using code. But just to explain to you the coordinate system, I'm sure you know in maths you know that the x-axis and the y-axis, so you can clearly see that the ball is constantly changing its coordinates. The x and y is always constantly changing, right? So this is something that we will set in the screen. Also, just to let you know that the width and height of the screen that I have taken is like 500 pixels by 500 pixels. You can also make it bigger if you want. Okay, so just for another like clarity, because there are so many numbers that I will be using in this animation. So I told you 500 by 500. So like the x, the positive x, the x plus x is like somewhere around 250, and this part is minus 250, and same goes for y, plus 250 and minus 250. So these are the figures that I will be using in my code to make it work. Okay, so let's go on to the code part. I actually want to make it all blank so that I can type it with you. Okay, so the first time, and this is sorry, just forgot to tell you that the software that I'm using is in the school laptops. If you just go search for Visual Studio Code, you'll be able to open this software. Okay, and then okay, let me also close this so that so the first time you open Visual Studio Code, you will be able to see this kind of a screen, and you can just quickly click on new file, choose Python file, and you can start writing the code. Okay, now how to make this work? Python has a number of wonderful libraries which already have functions to create a lot of these kind of animations and the artwork and so many things. So there are some specific libraries that we can use, but for today's lesson we are going to use Turtle library. So Turtle is like graphical library of Python which comes equipped with a number of things that you can really easily use without really learning, you know, like not really cramming all of those functions. You can just use them. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to create a screen for the turtle to move. So this is how you create it. You just say turtle dot screen with the S capital. So that creates a turtle screen. Now in my animation, I had chosen the background color to be black. So I can just choose the same here. If you want, you can choose another color here. Okay, like I said in my video, like I said in my introduction, I want to set the screen up with a width of 500 and 500 pixels. You can actually also experiment with it and change it too. Okay, so 500 by 500. Now I want to create a ball which is going to be a turtle shape. Okay, so I'm just saying that okay, I want a ball, and I'm asking my turtle library like this to create the ball. Okay, so when you create a screen, you say turtle.screen, but because this is a shape, you're saying ball is turtle.turtle. So it's like a turtle is basically a graphical shape. Okay, what shape do you want for the ball? You have to also specify it. Although you called it by the name ball, but Python is not gonna understand what shape does it want. What shape do you want? So you have to be specific and say that okay, for this graphic, I want the shape to be a circle shape. Okay, the color of the ball, you can set what you want. Okay, change it. If you don't like that, I think it's with the capital M, I may be wrong, but let's see. Now when the ball is created, you don't want the ball to create like lines on it, you just want the ball to move. So I'm gonna say pen up. Okay, pen up means it's just gonna move, it's not gonna create those lines, because if the pen is down, the ball will move and it will start creating these random lines wherever it moves, so we don't want that. Okay, now when I first ran the animation, you saw that the x and y was constantly changing, like x was changing by a few steps, y was also moving. So I'm saying that okay, the direction or the number of steps for x is 3, so every time the ball changes its position, it's going to go 3 times, like plus 3, basically the x is going to change by 3. And let's say I want y to be 2. We can also experiment with these numbers and we'll show you how. Okay, now In Python, always remember, whenever you want a continuous motion, like when you want the animation to go forever, you just say something like while true. While true means repeat forever without stopping. Okay, so what I want forever, I want the x coordinate of the ball to keep changing all the time. Okay, so what I will do is I will say ball dot x coordinate. So whatever, wherever the ball is right now, okay, add this dx to it. So which means you move the ball 3 steps, keep on moving it 3 steps, 3 steps, 3 steps. Okay, get wherever the ball is right now, the x coordinate, and add that x dx over here. Okay, and I would do the same for the y coordinate. So it will get the current position of the ball continuously, it will keep doing it, and it will keep adding y to it. Okay, and when you have the new x and y, like when it moves little bit here, the new x and y is here. Okay, so when the new x and y is calculated, you want the ball to go to that new location. So this is like a sort of a continuous motion that your ball is going to maintain. So keep on adding x and y, keep on going to the new x and y coordinates, and keep doing it. Okay, but you saw that when the ball was touching the edges, it was bouncing off. Okay, so I told you that plus 240 is the x here and minus 240 is the x on the right side, and plus 240 top is y and minus 240 top, no, down is the y thing. Okay, so I want to say to the ball that if the x coordinate becomes greater than 240, basically it's 250, which is 500 divided by 2, but also the ball has its own size. So I would say if x is greater than 240, which means the ball is touching to the right edge, or if the ball is going to touch or like the left edge. Okay, so if this is happening, then please move the ball to one step back. Okay, so it bounces off. Okay, and then if the y of the y coordinate of the ball is also 240, or the y coordinate of the ball is less than minus 240, you again want to bounce the ball. Okay, bounce it back. So you want to move it as dy minus 1. Okay, so this simple code, and then lastly, I think that's enough of yeah, okay, let me just run this code and show you some of the other changes then. So if I run this code, it of course asks me to save the file. You should not save it by turtle.py, because otherwise the Python gets confused between the name of your file and the name of the actual library. So I would call it, let's say, ball animation.python. Okay, save this, right? And when you run it, you see that the ball is now moving, it's touching the edges whenever it's minus 240. Okay, now this is something wrong out here. Okay, so this was something that didn't work pretty well, and we'll have to fix this code, I think. um okay, let me change this. I think this might be the problem. Okay, yeah, so that was the issue. It's not really minus 1. You're basically saying that whatever is x, you just subtract that value from the x and the y. Yeah, it's not minus 1, because minus 1 might be too less of a change. So rather than that, you change it by 3 steps and 2 steps back. Okay, so I just changed that part and it's working well. Yeah, uh, so this is gonna work. You can change this x and y. X and y defines the speed. So if I change this x to 7, and if I change the y to 5, and I save the code and run it, you will see that the ball moves faster, because x and y is now adding up by 7 and 5 this time. Okay, so this is how it's moving. You can change the colors if you want. You can change the shapes as well. You can search online and see what are the shapes available, so you can do that. Okay, now as a challenge, what I want you to do, um this one. So if I run this code, you see the ball is moving slower at first, and then if you notice it, the ball is becoming faster over time. You see it? Now it's much faster. So this is your challenge activity. I want you to first try the code that I have described for you, and then I want you to try this code and let the ball become faster. How you're gonna change it? It literally, I can tell you, 2 lines of code, and you don't even have to add anything. You just have to change 2 lines of the code in my code, and you can make this work. So all the very best, try it out and we can make this work.